What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe.
A lot of mock drafts came out on Monday, and obviously we believe the New Orleans Saints are going to take an offensive lineman. Well, a lot of other people do as well. CBS Sports, they looked at the Saints' first-round pick. They said it's going to be Taliese Fuaga, the offensive tackle from Oregon State. Pete Prisco, he says Olu Fashanu, Penn State. The Draft Network, Olu Fashanu, Penn State. NFL Network, Eric Edholm and Charles Davis both say Olu Fashanu from Penn State. Also Fox Sports, Pro Football Focus, and Fantasy Pros all believe that it is going to be Olu Fashanu from Penn State. You know what that tells me? That the Saints might be targeting Olu Fashanu as their left tackle. I would love this pick. He is the Penn State Nittany Lion. He started all 12 games for the Nittany Lions last season. He allowed no sacks in 365 pass blocking snaps. He was named the Remington Pace Big Ten Offensive Lineman of the Year, and he earned first-team All-Big Ten honors. This pick makes a lot of sense because he seems like he could be a plug-and-play guy. Your tackle situation is very bleak. We talked about it a little bit the past few days. Because if you started the season today, whether you like it or not, because look, Andrus Peat, he's been a starting guard for you for the majority of his career. He had to step in and kind of fill that role in the later half of the year and actually did an okay job at left tackle. He's currently a free agent. Are you going to bring him back or are you not? We don't know yet, but if your season started today, very likely Trevor Penning is your starter at left tackle. I'm sure a lot of Saints fans are not too happy about that. When you go look at his draft profile of Olu Fashanu, he's a guy that checks all the boxes. He's 6'6". He's 312 pounds. T-Bob will love this. Hand size, 8.5 inches. 8-inch king there. His strengths, obviously his size. This is coming from the Draft Network. They say he has good lateral agility, strength in his lower half to anchor and pass protection. He has the range to cover in the running game and screens, and he has a high motor. Those are all great attributes to have. They have a few concerns, but I don't think they're major concerns. Occasionally plays with a high pad level. Will occasionally overset in pass protection. Now, those are certainly concerns, but those are all technical things, right? You come in, you get with a new offensive line coach. You can teach technique. You can teach those things. The talent is there. The production is there. We talked about it. No sacks allowed in 365 pass blocking snaps. Is this a guy you would target? We've talked about it. Do you trade up from number 14? Do you trade down? Try to get some trade assets for you in the 3rd and 4th round where you don't have any picks. I think you stay put right where you're at. Because if you go look at a lot of the mock drafts, Olu Fashanu is a guy who's not only mocked to you a lot, but he's kind of falling in that mid-teens range where you sit. He's a plug-and-play guy. He's a guy that I believe can come in and start day one. I mean, you look at the Draft Network says, okay, we project him as a day one pick, a rare all-pro type of guy. That's kind of what you're hearing across the board. I mean, at NFL Network, whether it was Charles Davis, he had high praise for this guy. And you go watch the tape, it stands out. His size stands out. His strength stands out. He's a lot more agile than a guy at 6'6", 312 pounds should be. I think he checks all the boxes for you. And for a Saints team that is so lacking talent at that left tackle spot. Again, if you started your season today, Trevor Penning would be your starter at left tackle. I don't mind Fuaga as well. If Taliese Fuaga was there at 14, I would take him. I think he's a good player as well, but so many people mocking Olu Fashanu, it got me wanting to do a deeper dive into him, and you can see the talent. You can see what the hype is about. You can see why a lot of people like it. I think that could be a really nice pick for the New Orleans Saints for a team that has missed a lot on their first-round picks, whether it's defensive line or offensive line. I think they made a good decision with Brian Bresee last year. He had a solid first year, but I mean, you've seen Marcus Davenport, Peyton Turner, Trevor Penning, Cesar Ruiz. They want to turn around their fortunes in the first round as far as drafting linemen. I think Olu Fashanu is a good place to start. All right, one more thing I do want to hit on the New Orleans Saints before we take a break. Saints Wire put out an article the other day about possible trade rumors surrounding Taysom Hill. Would you do it, and what would it cost to trade him? So, look, the way Hill's contract is currently structured, it would cost the Saints about $1.1 million against the cap to trade him before June 1st. It would be more expensive to trade him than to keep him. But if they choose to wait and trade him after June 2nd, it would save them $10 million against the cap. That could help you sign another big-time free agent. We talked about the free agent offensive linemen yesterday that are out there, the free agent safeties that are out there. Would you trade Taysom Hill? And beyond that point, what is the trade market for a guy like Taysom Hill? Who would want it? I can think of a team in the AFC coached by Sean Payton. That would be the Denver Broncos that would probably take a shot at him. You just know that Sean Payton has been licking his chops trying to get his hands on Taysom Hill since he left that building. But when you bring in a guy like Clint Kubiak, who coached under Kyle Shanahan at the 49ers, you see what they do with George Kittle. You see what they do with Kyle Juszczyk. Their running game is so good. They get their receivers involved. I mean, Juszczyk far and away is the best fullback in the NFL because he's used the best. Yesterday, we were talking with Nick Underhill about, is that a role Taysom Hill could play? And he said, yeah, that's something that they're probably going to explore. Because I'm not sure what his trade value is. And look, $10 million against the cap is great, but Taysom Hill is a valuable part to this team. And bringing in a Kubiak, if he brings some of those Kyle Shanahan schemes and run styles, Taysom Hill is a guy that could be very valuable to you. You could line him up at fullback. You could line him up at tight end. You can line him up wherever. And with the complex running game that Kyle Shanahan runs, if Clint Kubiak brings that over, this is a guy that could be an incredible weapon for you offensively. Now, reasons to trade him would be age and money. He's not getting any younger, and he's got a little bit of a hefty contract. Right now, he's costing you more, and he's getting older. But again, with Clint Kubiak coming in, you got to see what he can do with a talent like Taysom Hill. That's why you brought in Clint Kubiak. You needed to get your weapons better involved. Obviously, you want Derek Carr to be in a more comfortable offense, but it's to get your playmakers involved. Taysom Hill is a big-time playmaker for this organization. I say no, but it is a conversation to have if you're looking to free up some cap space.
Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.